Okay, all right. Well, we have Mr. Ray. Thank you, Mr. Ray, for coming
Thank you.
and for being a part of my coaching certification.
Yeah.
The first thing we're going to do is we're going to go over the Fidelity Tool Summary. And this is just going to kind of review what your Teapot scores showed, and then as your strengths and areas of needs.
Mm-hmm.
And then we're also going to look at that inventory of practice that you completed. It's going to show how you rated yourself in the strengths and areas of needs as well.
Okay.
Would it work easier for you if I talk about the strengths compared to the strengths in the inventory of practice?
Yes, I like that visual.
Okay, you like that
Yes,
visual?
okay.
Okay, good. So we'll go ahead and do that. Well, looking at your results, you had many strengths that we saw as the Teapot results. Some of them that I kind of pulled was teaching children to express emotions. I also observed teacher engages in supportive conversations, schedules routines and activities, and promoting children's engagement. So those were 4 of them. There were many, so it was kind of hard to pick which ones to narrow it down to. You did a fantastic job in your Teapot. So some of the strengths that you rated yourself with the inventory of practice, do you remember what some of those strengths may have been?
Yeah, interacting with children
Okay.
to develop their self-esteem.
Okay. To develop self-esteem. Okay.
And establishing and enforcing clear rules,
Okay.
expectations, and
Expectations.
and limits.
Okay. And is there another one more you want to share with us?
Developing meaningful conversations.
Good. Developing meaningful conversations. Okay. Now, looking at your strengths between the Teapot and the inventory practice, I want you to kind of see something. It's interesting that what I scored and what you scored, there were a couple that were the same. You have the interact with children to develop self-esteem. That also kind of goes along with what I scored you for teaching children to express emotion.
Okay.
Because teaching emotion, that's that created the positive environment and in that building relationship piece.
Okay.
So that's a good piece that kind of transferred over. So we're both on the same page, so that's great. And another one that kind of transferred over that we agreed on was, let's see, the scheduled routines and activities. Again, that was one of your strengths, and you documented that as well in your inventory of practices.
Yeah.
So how does that make you feel that, some of the things that I've documented, some of the things you found are kind of the same?
That makes me think we have the same type of teaching style.
Yay! That's right. We do, and that's great because you're very confident, and we did see that. Robin and I did see that when we were doing your Teapot. You are very confident. You have a lot of knowledge. So it's kind of nice that, you're confident, that it's there.
Yeah.
So that's a great piece to have.
Yeah.
So, and it showed in your Teapot as well.
Yay.
So yay. The next area we're going to talk about is the emerging areas. For the Teapot, what the results of the Teapot showed, intervention for children with challenging behaviors, teaching friendship skills, and teaching behavior expectations. Those were some of the areas that kind of showed that you needed a little support. None of the areas really in the Teapot showed a huge area of concern. It was just these were kind of slightly below your strengths.
Yeah.
So what do you think about those 3 that the Teapot showed?
2 of those sound familiar for the ones that I had picked. Teams with family to develop support plans with them and coworkers is one of them.
Okay. Okay.
And the other one I had an idea was using the teams to show me how to use the functional assessment forms.
Okay. And let's see here. What are some areas in the in using the functional assessment forms? What areas, did you feel that you needed more information on?
Maybe how to fill out the forms, who to reach out to when using that documentation besides my co-teacher.
Okay. Okay. All right. Okay, and let's see here. Was there any other emerging areas that you felt that you scored yourself with the inventory of practices?
I can't think of any right now.
Okay, that's fine. Well, looking back at the teapot, it did show maybe some teaching friendship skills.
Okay.
Do you feel like maybe that's one that, maybe the intentional pairing, that's usually where that falls under is?
Yeah, I feel like I could use some newer ideas.
Okay.
Or techniques.
Ideas or techniques, okay. Great. Okay, so now we're going to move down to the professional development needs. And this is where, you and I can kind of collaborate, unless you have some in mind already, of maybe 3 goals that you would like to add to your professional development, and then we can use one of those goals to focus specifically on the cycle 1. What would be maybe some 3 professional needs goals that you'd like to pick?
Well, I'm the type of person that is used to emailing people, and I feel like that's faster.
Okay.
Sometimes I can't leave the classroom, so emailing during our downtimes in the classroom is easy for me.
Okay.
Having visuals and examples of how to fill out a form or printouts are easy for me to catch on. That's my learning style.
Okay.
Another one is the friendship building skills one.
The friendship building?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So out of the 3, which one would you like to target for this goal?
The friendship
Okay.
building.
The friendship building. Okay. So that's more of, like we talked about, like the pair sharing and the intentional, not pair sharing, I'm sorry, that too, but the intentional pairing, creating pre-planned activities.
Yes.
So that we could group maybe a child that is not used to playing with another child to encourage that social play.
Yeah.
Okay. So and that's a great one to pick because that kind of hits on the bottom level of the pyramid, which is the creating, positive relationships. So that's a good one to have. Okay. Okay. Do you have any questions so far?
No, I don't.
Okay. All right. So now we're going to go on to the proposed goals for the action plan. This will come from the things that you want to work on. So you've said that you want to work on the intentional pairing, building those friendships. What do you think could be some activities that we could implement to help you with that? Do you have some ideas, or would you like some help creating some ideas?
I think I would like some help creating newer ideas.
Okay.
Because some of the things that I have been doing when I pair up the children are materials that we have access to every day.
Okay.
So I think maybe newer games.
Okay. Good.
Or a long-term kind of project that can be ongoing.
Okay.
For those 2 children or the larger group.
Okay. So what we can do is we can make in our action plan down here, we can think of some activities, and then we can talk about what materials we might need for these activities.
Okay.
I think the way I've seen your classroom, the way it runs, you can always tell what's going to happen next. Great classroom management. You've embedded a lot of skills in that classroom where the children already know what to do, and they're very independent.
Yeah.
So how would you feel if we tried some skills with intentional pairing that is embedded throughout the day?
I think that's a good idea.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Some everyday situation
Okay.
for the skills.
Some suggestions we can talk about, and we can put in the action plan is maybe when children are at circle and you have them pick a friend, you know, to line up, to wash their hands. You know, does that sound like something that would be?
Yeah, that's something I haven't tried yet.
Okay, all right. So then let's go ahead and, so the indicator that we're going to work is, let's see here, intentional pairing. Okay. And the next step will be that we're going to use this for the coaching on topic. So we're gonna meet, we're gonna brief about the activity, and then, you know, we're gonna talk about the activity, and then we're gonna debrief.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay.
Makes sense.
All right. So the next step is that we can meet in the classroom. What works for you as far as going into the classroom? Because now, you know, we have some catching up to do, but not because of your part, but because of my side. What time we're gonna have? I'm thinking of we're gonna have to meet at least 3 times a week.
Okay.
And give ourselves some wiggle room in case things come up during the week.
Okay.
What do you feel would work for you?
I think Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays
Okay.
would work really good.
Okay. Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. And is there a certain time of the day? Because I know, you know, you have class and you're very very strict about being interrupted as a teacher, and I love that about you. And then you also do wraparound. You have to, you know, do the part program after school. So what time of the day, when we do have to meet, and I do have to pull you out of the classroom to debrief and role rehearse, you know, what time of the day works for you?
We could do it before my lunch break.
Okay. And what time would that be?
I take my lunch break at 1 till 1:30.
Okay. So would you want to meet 1:30 to 2 then?
Yeah,
or,
that
okay,
works
would
good
that
too.
work good?
Yeah.
Okay. So 1:30 to 2. So how do you feel if we really try to stick with these days and this time just to keep that consistency piece? Would that make it easy? Okay.
I like consistency, so that would work good.
Okay.
If we stuck to that schedule in those days.
Okay, good. So we can just pencil in our calendars, and this is what we have to do, and we'll get it caught up.
Yep,
So.
that sounds good.
And we'll get you know, the support and, you know, the professional development piece too. So this is about you too. So your learning as well as mine. So what we have here is we're gonna meet Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Before around 1:30 to 2, and you and I are gonna be meeting. In that part, we will include your supervisor, Deborah, so that she can arrange for someone to cover you, with, you know, to pull you out. So we're going to include the persons would be you, myself, and Deborah. And so, let's see. So today is Wednesday. So how do you feel about maybe Friday?
Yep.
Do you want to meet Friday and just go ahead and go over the coaching on topic?
Yes.
So we can start those cycles.
Yeah, Friday sounds good.
Okay. So that'll get us into the Monday, Wednesday, Friday routine. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that sounds good.
All right, good. Okay, so continuing on. Let's see. So now what we're going to do is we are going to look at your professional development plan. The first area that we have here is it's called the culture related to professional development and or change. This is just what this means is if I need to get a hold of you or if something has changed, what is the best way to communicate with you? So if I need to let you know.
During work hours?
Yeah, during work hours.
You could email me.
Okay.
And I check our classroom email daily. Also, calling the classroom is also fine.
Is there a certain time of the time? Is there a certain time in the classroom that doesn't work for me to call and disrupt?
I would say the best times are during that time.
Okay, so call during that time.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which is usually between 12:30 and 2.
Okay, 12:30 and 2. Okay, good. That's good information because I know the days go by really, really fast. So Okay, so we have that part. So I can email you, call you in case there's some change or there's something we need to talk about. Next, what we have on what we call the PDP, Professional Development Plan, is the Coach Candidate Learning Style. And what we did, oops, here we go. So before in the past, what do you feel would be your learning style? What if you, I don't know if you've ever taken a test similar to this before, or what do you think is your learning style?
I like to prep before the test, and so having visuals again, and something that I could, some examples of how the paperwork is done or the procedure of whatever I'm doing is done, is an easier way for me to catch on.
Okay, so visuals is one of your biggest key.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I think that's interesting that you say that, because when I got your information, my information, you and I both scored pretty high on the visual part.
Okay.
So your visual style, that was your first. That was your highest mark. It was 16 out of 20.
Oh yeah, I see.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now mine was, well, that was kind of interesting. Mine did show visual as well. And then your Ariel style, that's like you're listening.
Oh, okay.
That's 12 out of 20. So I was interesting. I got 17 out of 20 on that. But for me, I have to see it, do it, play with it, you know, and your numbers, some of your numbers were a little bit different than mine, but they kind of balanced out the same. So it was interesting to see that you and I kind of have a lot of the similarities.
Yeah.
So how do you feel about your results? Were you surprised of anything?
No, I'm not surprised.
No.
Verbal is low. Your verbal is high.
Yeah.
No, I think it's me.
That's you?
Yeah.
Good. Okay. Is there, but since we know your learning style, we know that your highest is the visual and the lowest was the solitary style, which was my lowest. Logical actually was my lowest. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Your logical was the lowest, and so was mine.
Oh.
Yeah. Are you good in math?
No.
Okay, neither am I.
No.
That's that math thing.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, that's what I'm saying. They're kind of different, but they're all the same, pretty much. So, so what is it? Since we both know we have the same learning style, pretty much. Let me know. What is a way that I can help you? Since I'm going to be coaching you, I'm going to be supporting you. How can I best support your learning style?
Well, again, I think the visuals and having like diagrams like this is good, and like you said, seeing it and then doing it are steps that I like to do. I like to try it out and experience it for myself.
Okay. Good. So if I just come in the middle of a classroom and I say I need da, does that work for you?
No.
No.
Okay. It throws me off.
Yes. Okay. So that's a good piece to know. So we talked about your learning style, my learning style, the similarities, which is good. So we kind of get each other. Because you said the diagram, I wanted to show you something. As part of, where is this piece? Oh yeah, here it is. We have the action plan that we're going to list who's doing what, when we're meeting, and who's involved. Would something like this be easy for you, just to kind of have for your records, and just to keep track of what we're doing, the steps in the coaching cycle?
Yes.
Would this make?
Yes.
Is it a little easier to read?
Yes, and it's simple.
Yes.
And
Okay.
I could just put it on my calendar.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Because so I'm glad that worked, because it helped me understand my process. So I wanted to share and see if it would help you as well.
Yeah, no, it makes sense.
It just has each area planned out, each cycle, how many minutes, and the days that we're going to meet. So you kind of are, like you said, you like to have some information ahead of time.
Yes.
So this will kind of prep you.
Yep. That's going to help me for sure.
Okay. Okay, good. How do you think this will help you?
Because I will go back to the classroom and add it to my calendar, and I'll add it to the classroom iPad so it could remind me and the other teacher prior to the day, like when I'm supposed to leave the room. And
Okay.
so
Great.
it helps me plan it.
Good. Well, I'm glad. So you can keep, we'll once we do the action plan, we'll write in the dates. So you can just have it's like a quick sheet, right? It's like a quick.
Yeah.
Okay. So going back. So this will be. Let's see here. This will be the. This is called the. Let's see, the action plan. What the action plan is, how we're going to get you to learn your new learning, the topic that you chose, which was intentional pairing.
Mm-hmm.
And then on the back, this is going to be we're going to come up with a plan on how we're going to take the learning that you have and how you're going to be able to implement it in the future, like maybe for next year, 5 years from now, or how. Because too often, we learn new skills and we kind of tend to forget them.
Yeah.
So it's just we want to come up with a plan on how are you going to keep doing it to make sure you don't forget the new learning. So the first part that we're going to talk about it's the individual coach action plan. Let's see, this is more like how it affects now, who's going to do what. So who would be under coach circuit practice based learning objectives, which will be this will be the intentional pairing. Okay, and who do we think would be involved in this?
Which children?
Well, no, but that reminds me of something. Thank you for saying that. There are 2 children, right, that I think are not, that cannot be in the videos. There were 2 children.
Jada.
Uh-huh.
And
yeah. Mm-hmm. So what we'll have to do is while we're making this action plan, we will have to talk about how we can incorporate, because there's going to be times we're going to have to videotape in the classroom. So we'll have to be very cautious to make sure that they're not in the video.
Yeah.
So how do you think we could do that?
Maybe we could have like the other teacher in the classroom do something with those specific children in another side of the room, part of the room.
Okay, great.
So they aren't running into our group.
Yeah, okay, good. So I guess maybe for the who, we can put down your other teacher, which is Rem. And then this will include yourself and myself, okay? And then the action plan that we have will be to, let's see, we can go in and, let's see here. What action plan? When? Resources, material. So we can go over, first what we'll have to do is we'll have to do the briefing of the first topic on the coaching cycle.
Okay.
So that would be the action, and then we decided that Friday would work okay to go ahead and do that. And then the resources, I'll just bring the information just in case you don't have the diagram that I gave you that talks about each topic and what we're gonna do.
Okay.
I'll bring that in.
Okay.
So, yeah. Okay. And then here, on the back, when we're talking about the implementation, what do you think? What is something that you can do to continue the learning that you're going to gain from this cycle?
I'm hoping that I could teach my co-worker, Remla, this style of teaching, and we could just both keep each other, going with this approach or technique.
Okay. And when do you think that you could do this? When could you teach her?
If she's like me, then I think her seeing what I do.
Okay.
And then maybe me and her briefing during that time, and just talking about how it went or how she feels about it.
So briefing and modeling, and then debriefing, kind of like the same steps that we're gonna do.
Yeah.
You'll be doing the same steps with her.
Yeah.
Wow, Mr. Ray, high five! You're already catching on. Awesome. And what do you think? What would be some resources that you might need? Think of like maybe some activities. What would be some resources that I could provide to make sure you have them to teach your new learning?
I can't think of anything.
Okay. Okay, that's fine. Okay. No, that's okay. And I think we talked before that maybe some ideas, some strategies that we could try, like games, yes. Right? Mm-hmm. Some things we can do during centers. Mm-hmm. So if there are some games that you need me to make, mm-hmm. Or even some songs for intentional pairing to line up, you mm-hmm. know, I can support you with that. So would it be okay to say like maybe the resources I can support you with are like maybe providing games, mm-hmm. And songs, and what else?
Well, I forgot, maybe we said the intention or daily skills kind of stuff.
There you go, daily skills, okay. See, okay, so that would have been the strengths. The next one would be the area for improvement, need or associated implementation. What do you think could be some challenges that might come up, you know, when you're trying to implement your new learning to someone?
Someone, like, you mean challenges like just unexpected challenges?
Sure, like when you have this cool learning, you just learned going through the cycle and you want to teach Rimmel about it, and you've talked to me that it's something you want to do the briefing, the debriefing, you know, what could be some challenges that, you know, some areas that you think could be hard when you're trying to teach?
Physical disability.
Mm-hmm, okay. Is that of the student?
Yeah.
Okay.
Or learning disability.
Okay. Do you think if you want to debrief with Rimmel what you've learned, do you think you'll have the coverage? Well, you know, if you wanted to talk to her, would y'all have time to talk together and reflect on what the new learning is?
We would make time during nap time when it's our downtime, and the kids are asleep. We would make the time to talk about it then.
Okay. Because sometimes what happens is we get new learning, and you know we're excited, we want to teach someone, and then things come up, and then it gets really hard, and we're just trying to come up with a plan of if some of these things were to happen, you know, how can we kind of go around them so we can continue our learning? Mm-hmm. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. All right. Okay. All right. Well, I think that's good. All right. Thank you, Mr. Ray. Do you have any questions?
I don't have any questions.
Okay.
No. If I think of any, I'll email you.
Okay. Great. All right. Well, it's been a pleasure, and thank you for taking time to meet with me, and excited to get this cycle going.
It's gonna be fun.
Yeah. All right. Thanks, Mr. Ray.